All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right, good evening, everyone. I am the Sarge. You probably see me on Sports Corner and Between the Ropes. And here I have Kenny, and welcome to the first episode of the Full Count. How you doing, Kenny?
I'm great, man.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Before we get started, we got to take care of a few things. So for all those listeners out there, you have a chance to win a free t-shirt in the ASAP t-shirt. All you have to do is be interactive in the comments like Freddie Henderson is right now. Share it, comment, like our page, and just be interactive throughout the other shows. And you have a chance to win a free ASAP t-shirt. But if you're a little comment shy, don't worry about it. What you can do is you can talk to one of the analysts with ASAP Sports, and you can get a shirt for $14.99 plus shipping, handling. You cannot beat that price. And guess what? It's coming up. Valentine's Day. It'll be a perfect gift for that significant other. So with that being said, I first want to welcome everyone again. And Kenny, can you tell me a little about yourself and what team do you usually follow?
Oh, so a little bit about myself. I'm a basketball guy. Grew up playing basketball, high school and college. I currently coach high school basketball. Shout out to my school, St. Joseph Academy in St. Augustine, Florida. And in terms of sports, I root for the Cowboys in football, the Knicks in basketball, and the Yankees in baseball.
Oh, I don't know about those Yankees. I mean, they beat my Mariners back in 2001, but we got you guys in 95, though. So I'll take that.
You did. Yeah, Don Mattingly. That was rough.
All righty. So I just want to say what's up to Adam Barber there. Thank you for commenting on this show. So let's get started. So lots been happening throughout baseball. And first, let's talk about the New York Mets, because the Mets have been in the news either with signings, trades, and also with the GMs. But my question to you, do you think the Mets are the new kings of New York?
No. Are you crazy? You actually a Yankees fan if the Mets are the kings of New York?
Well, you got to look out. Right.
No, seriously. They've made some... I think they're trying to change the culture, and they're trying to, do a restart for the third or fourth time. But I think they'll never be the kings of New York, and not just as a Yankees fan, but just based off the history. The Yankees have run the city for so many years, and I don't think the Mets could ever, unless they won the World Series this year and then just went on a run of like 3 or 4, like we did back in our heyday, they won't be the kings of New York. They might be the kings of the headlines right now, but they're not the kings of New York.
With that being said, I know Lindor signed like a $24 million contract with them. But that money was actually already paid for due to the fact that it was Cano who had $24 million, was supposed to get owed $24 million this year, but he got suspended. But do you think with the Mets organization, is it a toxic organization with what happened with their GM? And we know about Mickey Callaway back in Anaheim, but he was with the Mets. Do you think there's a toxic workplace with the Mets going on right now?
You probably could say that. Even going back to the Bernie Madoff, like there's always been drama around the Mets franchise. So you could say it's a toxic environment, but I don't think that there's, I think they're trying to change the culture, but they still have a whole lot of work to do in order for them to change that environment. So I would say right now that it's toxic for sure, definitely.
Oh, I would have to agree with that one. And also, I'm kind of I kind of can't wait till Zach Scott, who's the new GM, see what he can do with the Mets, because he was with Boston in their most recent winning years during that time. Do you think Scott will bring home a World Series trophy?
I don't know, because they have a lot of. Let's start with making the playoffs. Take baby steps and build. Because like I said earlier, they're trying to build a culture, so it takes time to be able to build that foundation, a winning foundation, and then you got to bring in the talent. You got to spend the money, and it takes time. And right now, the Dodgers are the king of the castle in terms of the Western. In terms of the NL, so
yeah, I'm seeing there's a mixture of comments going on. There's Mets are rice water, and
I've never heard that one before.
Let's go Mets! This is our year, and hey, welcome Trey, welcome to the show, the first episode of Full Count, and it says Mets will never be the king of New York. What's up with that? The only reason I say that is I'm looking at the Mets starting pitching, because you got DeGrom, Carrasco that came from Cleveland, Strawman, and Thor. He should be coming back shortly. And also they got Sugar Diaz. That's why I kind of like the Mets being the new kings of New York, because I like their additions that they have with Lindor. They got DJ Davis and the Polar Bear at first base there. So we'll see what happens. So let's keep it in the East, but let's go to the other division. Let's go to the AL East. Your takes on that. What is your biggest take with the LA East this season so far, with everything, all the trades and everything been done?
It seems like Toronto is trying to make a move and try to move up up to the top of the ladder. It seems like the Rays have kind of, I think they kind of shot their load, for lack of a better term, and I think they kind of waved the white flag by trading Snell. So I think they're going to go back into rebuilding mode and start to restock the farm system and things like that. And I'm biased, of course, because I'm a Yankees fan, but we did what we needed to do. We got DJ LeMahieu back. We rolled the dice with Bauer, and and I think that Gary Sanchez is going to bounce back and have a big year. So I still think we're the team to beat. I think the Yankees are. Well, I shouldn't say the team to beat, because the Rays won the division last year, but I think we're going to win the division this coming season.
All right, because that deal with DJ, I think that was he took a home discount, wouldn't you say, with that deal?
Oh yeah, that was big, and because I think that helped to be able to roll the dice on Bauer, and then of course losing Tanaka, that's going to be a tough blow, because he was really consistent. He was like clockwork. You knew what you was going to get from him every season.
Yeah. For the AL East, I think the Toronto Blue Jays are going to surprise a lot of people and actually probably win that division. The the only reason I say that is I discussed this also. Hey, how are you doing? Well, welcome to the show. That they kept Kirby Yates at the end, the closer. I know he had 2 down years, but I think he's gonna come back from that. And also they got Tyler Chatwood as a reliever there. But I'm looking at their additions. They got George Springer, and also they signed Marcus Semien from the A's. And I think Guerrero Jr. is starting to grow. And again, I think the Jays are going to make a big statement. But for the Rays, they just shot them, like you said, they just shot themselves in the foot with Snell. Snell, I think that started during the World Series game when he only was pitching a beautiful game, like only 70 pitches in, then they pulled him. I think that pretty much kind of shot the Rays on that one. So do you think, going back to the Yankees, being a Yankee fan, do you think Judge and Stanton can stay healthy?
It remains to be seen, and especially with Stanton. I think Judge has kind of had some bad luck in terms of injuries, but Stanton's been injury prone pretty much his entire career. So I just think with his build and his body, it's just hard for both of them. It's going to be a challenge for them to stay healthy. But if they are, knock on wood, cross our fingers and all that good stuff, if they're able to stay healthy, look out. Because like I said, I think Sanchez is coming back with a vengeance.
Alrighty, maybe Stan could change his name back to Mike. Maybe that might help.
Anything.
Because for some reason, I have the hardest time of saying his name. I don't know why, but he's Mike Stanton in my book. I'm sorry.
I got you. Whatever makes it easy for you.
All right. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, while we're discussing everything, and there were we could agree that the winter meetings were kind of slow and so forth, but everything started picking them back up like mid-January. What do you think of the AL West? Do you have the Padres or the Dodgers?
I'm gonna go with the defending champ. Until you knock them off, they're the team to beat. And it's slipping my mind right now, but I know they did make a big deal over the offseason. So it seems like they're, reloading to make another run.
All right. I honestly, when we started talking about baseball, I honestly had the Padres coming out and taking the West with additions to with Darvish and Snell right there. And then all of a sudden, boom, the Dodgers. I have to change my mind. I think the Dodgers pitching is going to save them. And also, do you think Dustin Turner is going to come back to the Dodgers for that third base spot?
I would think so. What was the big move that they made in the offseason? I can't. Help me out.
Wasn't it Trevor? They got Trevor.
Wow, yes. Thank you, Will. So, like you said, pitching is the difference in the playoffs when it comes to, and of course now that Kershaw has his ring now, maybe that kind of takes the weight off his shoulders and he just relaxes and really starts to dominate in the postseason. If he does that, look out.
Definitely, and like I said, I was surprised they got Bauer because my number one destination was actually the Angels. I thought honestly that the Angels were going to get Tanaka. That's going to lure Bauer to the Angels, and the Angels are going to surprise people in the West. Then DJ made that little sweetheart deal with the Yankees. I'm like, well, I guess Trevor's going to go to the Yankees, but it never happened. And like I said, once he went to the Dodgers, I had to switch my side on. I had to pick the Dodgers to win.
Yeah, they got Mookie Betts. They got the bats, they got the starting pitching, and then they got the closer. So like us, when we first started talking about this, they're the defending champs. So until they've been knocked off, then I'm still going with them.
Yep, and I will have to agree with that one and go with them as well. And John Suggs, welcome to the show. Thank you for commenting. And I actually been seeing John Suggs actually commenting on multiple shows, so I don't know. Keep it up, John. All right, so next to our next topic. Nate, can you roll the slides, please? Oh, yep, Murray got that one. All right.
Okay.
We all have heard about the balls are being juiced. What is your take on that, kid?
I can believe it because listen, we're in I call it the ADD generation where we have short attention spans. So you gotta bring it. And you know, baseball is untimed sport, so it's always going to be a challenge to get people to really sit down and take 3 hours out of their evening or 3 hours out of their Saturday afternoon or whatever the case is to watch a game. And don't let the Red Sox and Yankees play. That could be a 5 or 6 hour game sometimes.
Yeah.
So juicing the ball kind of because as the saying used to be, chicks dig the long ball. So getting that long ball is going to bring the excitement, and bringing the excitement is going to bring the fans.
All right. I would have to agree with that. Like something was going on with the balls because all of a sudden we just had all these home runs. Because 2019 was like the league had the record as the most home runs, and it was about 6,700 home runs, about that. And I think what they're doing is I think they're gonna make the ball. From what I read, they're gonna.
Yeah, John just said they're deadening the balls.
Yeah, I was just gonna get to that, like to 2.8 grams, but I don't think that is gonna help Colorado where they're at and their elevation. I think that ball is still gonna go out of the yard.
Yeah.
So.
And then even in these small ballparks, the Camden Yards, I think Philly is another one that has a small. As long as you got, and of course the Yankees with their short porch in right field, you can only do but so much because these guys are so big and so strong.
Yeah, I agree. And I see Nate kind of comment there. As a Rangers fan, I'm glad the Angels didn't get Bauer. It doesn't matter, though. With that being said, I know the Rangers and the A's made a little deal. I don't know if you saw that. Elvis has left the building in Texas, and he went to the A's, and Chris Davis went to the Rangers. What's your first thoughts about that?
Well, man, it's definitely surprising because Elvis has been with that. Hasn't he been his entire career? He's been with the Rangers?
He has.
Yeah, so, anytime a guy has been with a team his entire career, and to go, from Texas to Oakland, 12 years. Thanks, Nathaniel. That's actually my middle name. I don't tell a lot of people that. But yeah, he, that's sometimes you need to change the scenery. Sometimes you need to get a new start, and sometimes that can be the jump start to your second chapter, your second phase of your career. So that could be what happens for him. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, I kind of dig down into that trade a little bit more, and it seems like that trade was almost like the same as Arenado trade, because I believe the Rangers shipped Elvis to the A's, but they also sent $13 million, and that's what his contract is worth. So they're kind of getting a player for free. And also the A's had to make a move because they lost Marcus Semien to Toronto. Mm-hmm. And I believe that was I believe it was a good trade with what the A's do with their front office, playing the money ball game and so forth. And yes, I remember Nate does not like the Arenado trade whatsoever. But Chris Davis, he's a strikeout machine. He's getting older. He's 33. Elvis is 32, and I know it was a shortened season last season, but Davis didn't really perform well. Speaking of that, what do you think we're going to see for a full season this year?
I think we're going to see what we've been seeing the last few years. A lot of strikeouts and a lot of home runs. It seems like we're in the kind of all or nothing phase of the game. So I think and like I said earlier, all these guys are bigger, faster, and stronger. So I just think we're going to be seeing more home runs, and more strikeouts, and more guys throwing fast and more guys throwing 95 to 100 miles an hour. So that's going to lead to strikeouts because baseball is the hardest sport in terms of, well, one of the hardest sports, I should say. So yeah, I just think it's going to be more the same: more home runs, more strikeouts.
I have to agree with you. And you saying one of the hardest sports. I think Will, who commented earlier, I think he will 100% agree with you that baseball is much harder sport than it really looks. I think the same. But I kind of hope during the spring training that baseball mic up the players again. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's fun. Between that and the managers, I wish you can. Well, I don't know how much they could do, but kind of how the NBA does with the timeouts, and you're able to hear a little bit of the huddle. I would like to hear some of their conversations, with their players, and even with maybe even the hitting coaches, and kind of what they're telling them in between, or how they're talking in between the bats, or maybe little exchanges between the catcher and the pitcher. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. But I think they have to watch out because the other team could spy. Hello, Astros.
Yeah, Astros, right.
Yeah. Speaking of the Astros, do you think they got off with having a shortened season? And
Of course. No fans. So they didn't have to deal with the booing and, the chants. So, yeah, they got over.
So you could probably come with me and saying they love 2020 because they didn't have to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I am wondering if it's going to be even worse this year because all that anger that the fans have, not being there and so forth, and that fake fan noise that bugs me to no end. Just listening to the fake fan noise because
it's like white noise.
Because they're not saying. I think we're going to see some interesting stuff when the Astros do go to LA. I don't know if they're playing the Dodgers this year, but if they do, that's going to be a very interesting series with that.
Really.
So John says, I would say baseball, then hockey, then football have more impact on the body. What's your take on that, Ken?
They do, but I think in terms of actually in terms of the skill level and the hardest thing to do, I think it's two things. It's hitting a baseball and hitting a golf ball. And actually, being a golfer, or not a very good one, but to me, hitting a golf ball is harder than hitting a baseball.
I would have to agree on that one because I don't know how many swings it takes me to actually hit that golf ball. And I had one time where my driver head went further than my ball.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. You think you had this great swing, and then the thing goes about 2 feet.
That's awesome. But now you're talking about swings. Who do you think has the best swing in baseball?
Right now?
Ever.
Oh, ever? Oh, Ken Griffey.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were on this show for a reason. It's so good.
Sweet.
So,
yeah.
And I got to admit, I do like Gary Sheffield's swing also.
Yeah, I like his too. I like Darryl Strawberry's. I'm a lefty, so I like Darryl Strawberry's. I used to bat with him. Yeah. Yeah,
so Adam was asking you, what move do you want to see the Yankees make?
I would like to get some more speed. I think Brett Gardner is on his last legs, and he never was really a great base stealer. Yeah, I'd like to get some more speed. So, like, if we could get a speedy, base stealer guy, or a guy that can, at the top of the lineup, that can kind of set the table, because And especially around playoff time, you got to play some small ball sometimes. And sometimes you got to manufacture runs. So I would like to have somebody like a fast guy at the top of the lineup, like a Juan Pierre type of guy, like a slap hitter that gets on, and then, he's a threat to go at any time.
Okay. He signed with the Reds, I believe, today.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he changed his name to Strange Gordon. I think he's a fast guy.
Oh, yeah.
I would maybe call up the Reds and let's make a deal. What about did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yes, I did.
So Yankees could actually sign the guy who ran onto the field because I thought he had some good speed.
That's funny. That's funny. So I was actually what is this guy bet apparently $50,000 and then his fine was $1,000. So like he made out 49 grand.
He made out with $374,000.
Wow.
All that.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? He made it closer to the goal line than the Kansas City's Chief.
Yeah, I saw a meme where a plane, they said this is the only touchdown that the Chiefs had, and it was the plane landing at the airport. Hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a little comment here that when we were talking about the swings, John Suggs mentioned no love for Big Papi swing. It's like, nope, too many cheeseburgers.
No, I'm a Yankees fan. I'll never acknowledge that team.
How did that work with you guys with Johnny Damon coming from Boston?
So yeah, that was well. He helped us win a World Series, so it was all good.
All right.
And we had problems before that, so yeah.
All right. Well, you don't know this, but I kind of threw something extra onto the show. It's a little game I created. So Nate, can we get to the next slide, please? All right. This is called the 3-2 pitch. Since it's the full count, we got to get it inside that somehow. So I'm going to ask you probably about 5 trivia questions into baseball. Are you up for that?
I'll try my best.
All right. So we're going to start who we just talked about. D. Strange Gordon is an active leader in career stolen bases. What is his career high for stolen bases in the single season?
I'm just going to guess. 46.
Oh, if you switch those two numbers around, 64.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know which team that was with?
Royals?
D. Gordon, which team that he did it with?
Yeah, I said Royals. Was it the Royals?
No, he did it with the Dodgers.
Okay.
So, all right. The next one is Trevor Bauer will look to repeat as an NL Cy-Young Award winner with a new team. Only one pitcher in history has ever won back-to-back Cy Youngs in different teams. Who is it?
Repeat the question.
So Trevor Bauer will look to repeat as an NL Cy Young winner. There's only one other pitcher in history that has won it back-to-back with different teams. Who is that pitcher?
Back-to-back with different teams.
I'll give you a hint. He played for the Braves.
Greg Maddux?
Greg Maddux is it.
Okay.
All right. So if Nelson Cruz hits 30 home runs during the 2021 season, he will become the oldest player to have done so. Who is the current record holder?
For the oldest to have 30 home runs?
Yes, sir.
Big Papi.
Hey, there we go. That is correct.
Nice.
All right, then John Suggs is giving us some history about Pedro Martinez. He did it award with the Expos in '97. Okay. Oh, very nice. I did not know that. All right, we're going to go with one more question right here. George Springer is tied for fourth all-time with 19 career postseason homers. Who is first?
19 postseason homers first.
John Suggs should know this one.
A-Rod? No, it can't be.
No, I'll give you one more guess. I'll give you one more.
Yeah, wait. Postseason home runs. Manny Ramirez?
Yeah, Manny Ramirez, because we know A-Royd can't do it.
No. Yeah, that's why I said that. I was like, what am I thinking?
All right. So I just want to say, first of all, this concludes our show with this. And if you guys have missed our live stream, you don't have to worry about it. What you could do is go onto Anchor and look up ASAP Sports, and you can watch the show. If you miss something, you can rewind it and a whole bunch of other stuff. And if you're looking to do a podcast, they also have a whole bunch of other tools for you to do it as well. So go to Anchor. If you missed the show, check us out and so forth. And this is Ken and the Sarge, and you're out.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.